Nigeria today graduates over 500,000 students. According to ResearchGate, it's actually 500 to 600,000 students every year. These are people who are poured out of the labor market every now and then. So do you think that there is 9 to 5, there's actually jobs ready to accommodate this person?
Our schools these days are not really giving out what we want to succeed. That's what you need to become a CEO. It's not being taught in school. The school is like a training ground. Now the real life is like a boxing ring where you need to put everything you know, plus even that which you do not know, into practice. There is nothing that you can use to substitute learning. Simply because you have a certificate do not guarantee you success. I read a book that says passion is greater than talent. Yes. Passion drives you.
So for somebody in that situation, how do you think one can find their skill? How do you think one can drive passion? How do you think
passion drives people? But hunger drives people too.
Do you think that everybody knows what they want?
That is another great question. Yes, not everybody knows what they want.
We're talking about in the event that people do not know what they want.
There's an approach I love to always adopt. In trying to find out what you love to do those things that you don't love to do.
Yes. Do you think that everybody should be an entrepreneur? Anyways, we'll be talking on why, as a topic, why a 9 to 5 could be the riskiest financial decision one could make today. And I would like to start off with asking, I guess, if you agree with that statement.
Yeah, frankly speaking, I would say that singular statement is not actually, it shouldn't be standing on a singular note.
Okay.
Because why I say so is because 9 to 5 job is really a good thing. Because in life, everyone has a starting point.
Okay.
Yes. So, but when you continually do that, that is where the risk comes in. It is a situation of putting all your eggs in one basket. Yes.
So it is not good to have your eggs in one basket?
Of course not.
Okay, so for somebody who is starting off with, let me put it in perspective. Nigeria today graduates over 500,000 students. According to ResearchGate, it's actually 500 to 600,000 students every year. These are people who are poured out of the labor market every now and then. So do you think that there is 9 to 5, there's actually jobs ready to accommodate this person? Because from your statement, you have mentioned that it should be a start-off point. Have this first, figure out yourself before you jump onto something else, which is having eggs in different baskets. So how can this person start off knowing that in this situation today, not just Nigeria, but every part of the world, there's no good enough jobs to take everybody? So how do people handle it?
Yes. Thank God you said not good enough job. From that angle, everyone needs a job. Yes, everyone needs a job. Because some of us are not really privileged to have some business tycoon as parents, to have the likes of Otodela and the rest as parents. So we are not from wealth. Okay. So school is this is possibly our only way out. This should be in the 20s, in the 80s.
Okay.
But the reality we are now is when the students graduate from school, they pour lots of them into the labor market. The very first thing a human ought to do from that perspective is get yourself a job. No matter how small the job is, raise up something, because you can literally not start from nothing.
But there's not enough jobs to take everybody.
Yes, but whatever way you find it, whichever means, because not being enough does not mean that there is no job.
But there's no job.
That is not true. See, that word, there is no job,
Okay.
falls into at least two categories.
Right.
You can say there is no job because there is no job. You can say there is no job because there is underpaid jobs.
Okay.
All right. You can say there is no job. There are jobs in high risk environment, like the northern part of Nigeria. So you cannot say actually that there is no job. Somehow, people are still getting employed. But my point is, in as much as you are being employed, sometimes the pay is not what you expect. But you must start from somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for the clear point, and you have emphasized so well that you need to start from somewhere. You need to start from a job to actually, launch yourself
Nobody
into.
gives you money in the year. Or you must do something first. And before you can now invest, you can now do businesses. Because you even need an experience. You need experience to grow. I cannot trust you with my 100,000 when I know that you don't have the ability to manage 100,000. You haven't done it before.
True.
So in the job setting, it is not really job that the job do not really give you salary. It gives you experience. It exposes you to people.
Okay.
It is not just about the money. It is about the environment too. Sometimes it gives you connection. Because I have seen people whereby from their previous job, when they finally quit that job, they still have that friends that they made from that job. They still have that connection. Like people who worked at the bank earlier in their life, they still have colleagues who are bankers. Whenever you need favor, you can pick up your phone and call your guy in the bank, and he will have his son that for you if he can. But even if he cannot, he will not point you to the right direction. So it is basically about connection in most cases. So that is the way I see it. It is not just about the job.
Yeah, you made a clear point. It's not just about the job, it's about the experience. It's
Yes.
about the information you gather. It's about the people you meet, the relationships you build.
Yes. You can't get everything from the four walls of your school. Yes, you can't.
Okay, so for somebody who is an aquaculture specialist, it's quite a heavy title. Okay, in your mode of operation and experience thus far, how do you think? What do you think? Do you think that the schools today have prepared people for the life they're coming out to in the labor market? Because for some people who just finish up and they have experiences in one or two businesses. But do you think that is the case for the majority? Do you think people are ready to face what is out there?
See, the truth is, nobody was born ready. Yes. And just the way you narrow it down from the school setting to the labor market, I would love to disappoint you, because our schools these days are not really giving us what we want to succeed. That which you need to become a CEO is not being taught in school.
Surprisingly.
Yes. So an author once wrote that there is nothing that you can use to substitute learning. Therefore means that every skill that you once ever loved, you once ever aspire to become, can be learned. Yes. Because when you leave school, because as an aquaculturist now, when I was in school, I was at the top of my class. But then there were some persons who were not serious with their studies. So there were also some persons that are trying to catch up. But the overall thing is, all of those things that we learned in school can never be enough to set you up in the real life. The real life is like, the school is like a training ground. Now the real life is like a boxing ring where you need to put everything you know, plus even that which you do not know, into practice.
Yeah. True. True.
So people will need to learn. And learning comes from angle of hunger. That I want to do this. And for me to be able to do this, this is the process I require to do this. Before getting there, I must pass all of these processes in order for me to achieve this. Simply because you have a certificate do not guarantee you success.
Right?
Yes. Let's take, for example, let's assume you failed driving test at age 17, 16, 20. You stop trying. So does it mean that when you get to age 50, 60, they will award you a driver's license?
No.
You can't substitute the part that you need to learn how to drive. Pass the driving test. Be certified that this person has actually passed this test, and you'll be awarded a license. Because if they do that, you are not only endangering your own life, you are endangering the lives of other persons that are road users.
Yeah, true.
So the place of learning is a critical point here. Whether you are going your 9 to 5, or you are on your own business. Because 9 to 5, most people that do 9 to 5, they train them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was listening to the one of the CEO and founders of MoneyPoint.
Okay.
He was talking about how there are no
that Nigerians are not employable.
Yes.
That's right.
Talking about how Nigerians are, a lot of us are incompetent in terms of, and somebody was referring to that. I was saying that when it comes to the banking sector, right, they have done so greatly in terms of employing people. Before the banking sector employs, they go through training. So you don't necessarily need to be a banker. You pass through a certain training.
That's the basic training.
So the banking sector have been able to construct, right, to come up with a training strategy that have helped them train many Nigerians. And after the training,
I have them integrated.
Yes. So after the training, they become so aware of the system, so they can now do better in the. So that person was saying that, was referring to the money point, and saying that they can put up systems like that where they train people before bringing them on board, and that have helped many persons gather experiences in banking or in the banking sector. I know many friends who are bank workers who have gathered experience a lot in the whole financial industry, not because they studied anything related to finance in school, but because they have gone through this training. And it do not stop in one-time training.
They're trained.
There's a continuous training process, updating your senses with all of the modern day tech and the modern day finance journey. Yeah. So, but you were talking about how you need to, what was the statement you made, that you need to retrain yourself. You need to continuously learn, right?
Don't keep on pushing yourself.
You were giving instance with the driving lesson. For many persons today, they wake up like people would say, every Friday people feel so relieved of their job. Like it's weekend, let's go balling. And
enjoy your weekend.
And every Monday they resume job, they resume their offices looking or
the job that they don't like.
It boils down to one thing, that many persons do not like their jobs. Right? So for people who are constantly in an environment where they do not like, they do not feel productive, right? What do you think that they could do to help them stay optimistic, stay productive, to be able to actually stay productive, if you get my point?
Yeah, I get the point. Let me ask you a question. If you do not like a certain food, what do you do to like the food?
Personally, if I do not like a certain food, I stop eating.
You walk away, right?
Yeah.
Then you search for other food, right?
Yes.
So how is that different from what you just asked?
Okay. What I'm asking is that some persons stay in a job not because they like it, but because the pay is sustainable. And in a country like, take a minute. From the beginning, we have established that the the ratio of people coming to a labor market every year compared to the available jobs is slim. So how would you, for somebody who have actually taken time to find a job or have grown in a certain job, they know the risk of stepping out and looking for something else, and they have family and themselves to sustain. So they grudgingly go to these jobs. They just do it anyways, not because they feel fulfilled in the job, but because it has to be done. Bills have to be paid. Sorry. So how do you think that how do you think, what do you think would help them stay productive in that sense?
Okay. I get your point. Now, when we were in school, naturally, to study is one big work for anybody.
Okay.
To study. And you know that if you do not study, you will definitely not pass your exams. So we studying was as a result of the exams that we intend to pass. And if we do not pass those exams, we may possibly come back for an extension in the school. So, to the very question you ask, if you do not like a job, there must be something pushing you through in that job first. That could be the salary. That could be the fact that is the only job that is available at the moment.
Okay.
Now, if you do not like a job for the first 5 years, you are only trying to keep up. Now, you are saying you do not like the same job. You work that same job for the next 10 years again, making a total of 15 good years. As at that point, I would say you don't know what you're doing. Because for the first 5 years, let's assume you were under duress because there was no job. Okay. Now, from that 5 years to another 15 years, that is extra 10.
Yeah.
What have you done to break out from that job that is rather a nightmare to you? Because when you don't like it, human being is built in a way that when you don't like it, you look for an alternative that suits you. Because I do not see anyone that is on a gunpoint tied to a major. Because I understand that some bosses can be a nightmare. Some of them can be so nonchalant that they abuse you at will, they ridicule you at will, just because they are paying you. It happens more in the private sector. Because in government sector, all of them are nonchalant. Yeah, because nobody does the job.
Right?
Yeah, it is for the government. And they say it goes like this. We drop it on our shoulder, and when we are tired, we let it go. But you can't do that with somebody's business. So in the nutshell, what I'm saying is this. There are so many things that motivate people. As you are now, let's say you don't like your current job, possibly because the pay is so slim, or possibly the environment, you don't like it. Or better still, it is not really your thing. Yes. Now, first of all, the first question that comes to mind is, what do I like? Because you are a human being, there's something that you like. I read a book that says passion is greater than talent. Yes. Passion drives you. Just like when you are fueling the car, you keep on matching the yes.
Accelerating.
You step on the gas more and more and more and more and more. You keep moving as long as the road is straight. So there's something that drives you. What is your passion? What would you rather do than doing this job?
Yeah.
Now, all of those questions is your question, not our question. It is your own personal question. Okay, let's assume I find myself in a teaching job. Then I don't like going to class. I don't like to teach. Then I know that, I need small money to survive. Okay, I'll say, let me keep up with this for the next 5 years. Then why keeping up with this job? Let me do this for myself. Let me register for this skill. Let me upgrade myself. Let me learn this skill to the point that people will start looking for me. So when you eventually get that skill that will make you a different person, you leave. Yes. Because you are not tied to that job. The job is only a means. All right? So as long as the job is a means, other means can come. So immediately you are able to pick up another skill, learn it very well, and you know you can earn from it. You can dish the job. Yes, because honestly, you cannot survive without money. If the job is only feeding you at the moment, you have no option than to stick to that job. Do it just the way the boss is commanding you to do. Why doing your inner skill acquisition? Why pursuing a different path entirely? So that one day, that garment that itches you a lot, you can let it go and say, I am done with this shit. Yes. Everybody can do that.
In some cases, it can be difficult, though. Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
A friend was talking to me about their cousin who is underpaid in their current job and wanted to quit. They are quitting not because they have found a different job, but because this job is underpaid and is highly stressful, like it's highly demanding.
Okay.
So the friend of mine was advising the cousin that you cannot quit, just like what you were saying.
You can't. You cannot quit.
You cannot.
You will survive. Survive at first before anything.
Yeah. You cannot quit if you haven't found an alternative. You cannot quit if there is no alternative job or alternative skill that you are falling back to. Now, this person in question don't have a skill. Apart from not having a skill, they do not know
what they want
skill
to acquire.
Yes. And the friend of mine was saying that they are suggesting this or that. So for somebody in that situation, how do you think one can find their skill? How do you think one can drive passion? How do you think one can become passionate on something? Because I did not have I don't know what to tell the friend.
The thing is, if you are hungry enough, you search for food. Yes. There was a day I told you that hunger sat me down. Yes. Hunger said, I will destroy you. At that moment,
Okay.
the only thing I can think about was how to get food. sorry to say, the young man is not hungry enough. Yes. See, passion drives people, but hunger drives you too. Yes. See, there are some persons who would come up and say, "Oh, this is not the kind of life I want." Because whatever you think you want, there are some person who has it already.
True.
Now, identify this person who has it. Now, you give yourself a roadmap. How can I get to this point that this person is? Because I have seen people, even in their 50s, go back to school for a different degree.
Yeah. True.
What do you think made them to go back for a different degree?
A certain drive, I suppose.
Yes. Passion is there and hunger is there. For those who has money at their disposal, you can say it is passion. For people who are struggling to do that, I would say it is hunger. Because if I know that in this profession, I'll be able to make $100,000 annually, as against my previous that I barely make 20, and I just need 2 years or 3 years to pursue this new skill. And by the end of these 3 years, I will know that potentially I can earn 100K in a year. Isn't that worth going after?
If there's a hunger.
Yes. So passion most times go way beyond what you know how to do. When we were in school, there are some persons who will read just for 5 minutes and they will possibly grab everything.
Right.
There are some persons that will study for the whole semester.
For the whole night.
For the whole semester.
Yeah.
Now, the difference here is the person studying for 5 minutes and grabbing everything. You that studies for the whole semester, you'll be at the same point with good grades. Now, whatever that makes the other person to slack behind, you'll be at the front. It is the work done.
I get it.
Yes. It is the passion. If I want it, it is the hunger of you wanting it.
I will have to put in everything in my capacity.
Give it your last punch. Even if it requires your hand getting broken, your hand can be it can be mended later.
That's a tough one.
Yes. So just like I said earlier, that the school setting that we all went to, just when you are preparing for UFC, the real showdown is in the ring.
Yeah.
Where your coach is not there, where your friends that came to watch cannot even touch you to raise you.
It is not a friendly match.
Yes.
It is basketball.
Blows are being drawn. Scores are being broken. That is the life we are in.
True.
Yes.
True.
So if you have enough passion and enough hunger for that which you want, and you go after it in the right way, let time be your ally. Takes you a year, 2 years, 3 years, even at max 5 years.
Because time is actually our ally.
And the thing is that even if you suffered all through these 5 years trying to get there, when you eventually arrive, it will look as if you never suffered again in your lifetime. Because the life is all about the present. How well are you living now? Not the very best life you had as the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That is the way it is.
A man was talking to me back in 2018.
Yes.
And he was saying that the best way, in his opinion, that one could know what they are good at is to ask people who are around you what they think that you are good at. I could remember I was with a friend, Jude, back then, and we we decided to practice it when we got home, and he was
Okay.
asking me, "What do you think?"
I am good at.
Yeah, I am good at. What do you think I can do for free? What do you think I can do effortlessly if you take money out? And I think that for people who sometimes do not know
Okay.
their skills or their talents or their passion or what they can actually a skill that they can sell for money, maybe they should put that in practice. Ask who are people around them that thing that they could do over and over again, even if you take money out.
But if you ask me, I would say there will be a bias there.
Okay.
Bias will be coming from the subjective angle. I like you I like you when you drive.
Okay.
I like you driving me.
Okay.
And I would say I would appreciate if you can be a driver.
But not
Hold on. Or I don't bring some of my coursework, my term paper work for you to do for me. Okay, I will say, oh, this guy is good in research. Another person can call, oh, can you help us make some food? You made the food and we enjoyed it. And I will say, oh, this guy, he loves to cook and his food is always nice. Now, it is me who is judging you.
Okay.
Based on what I thought or I think that I have enjoyed from you. Okay. Now, if I do not enjoy any of them, do you think I will say I think you are good at it?
I think that.
Because from the subjective point of view now, is the person judging.
Yeah.
But it would rather be, this is what I want to do. Okay. See, if somebody suggests something to you, you might accept it. But unlike the one you have made up your mind to do
you think that everybody know what they want?
That is another great question. Yes, not everyone knows what they want to do.
So we're talking about in the event that people do not know what they want.
There's an approach I love to always adopt. In trying to find out what you love to do, do those things that you don't love to do. Yes. So that at the end of the day, you find yourself doing that which you love.
Yeah, you must have gotten so frustrated on those ones
Yes.
that have jumped off to something.
See, I understand life. Life has a way of narrowing you down to what you want.
That's actually a valid point there.
So try those things that you're not good at. Or as in public speaking, trying to write codes, staying up late at night, trying to do research. And again, understand that survival most times override whatever you want to do. Because I cannot be a poor church rat living under the thatched roof of my father in a mud house. And I will say, oh, I want to do a certain kind of job that do not give financial reward, like a huge financial reward. Because responsibility comes before your love for anything, your affection for anything. Yes. It is only when I have been able to settle those things that I think that are paramount in my life, I can now sit down to say, oh, at the end of the day, this is what I love. I just gave you an instance of a man that went back for medicine, back to as a medical school in his 60s. He's doing that because he loved being a medical doctor. He loved being in the field. He loved to save life. But that wasn't his original passion. That wasn't his original work. Because some of this skill that we are all talking about, some has barrier. It might be financial barrier. It might be regional barrier. As a result of where you are coming from.
Yeah, as a result of your environment.
Yes. As some can be family barrier. There are some things in this life you can achieve because you are in Nigeria. No, I am just making an instance.
Okay.
Because you are from this family.
Yeah.
Because those things require financial effort. If you look at it, you can't pull it. It's just like somebody who is going to US. And now we are on the US ban list. It's okay, how can I get to US? You can decide to, okay, let me first of all go to Europe. Acquire a good skill that is sellable in the US market. Then you move to Europe. In the process of acquiring the skill, you can acquire the citizenship of that nation. That alone has exposed you to a wider horizon of opportunity. So when applying to go to the US again, you are not applying as a Nigerian. You are applying as a citizen of that country that you have gained skill and education too.
Yeah, so environment can be a good factor.
Yes.
Do you think that people's passion change over time?
I guess. Because passion can be environmentally motivated. Yes. Environment can affect what you like. Family upbringing can affect what you like.
How far you see could mean how far you know.
Exposure can affect what you like.
Yeah.
What you don't know, you cannot have love for it.
Yeah. You cannot know enough to like.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are good paying jobs out there, but you don't have the skill. Neither do you even have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So, first of all, start with what you have. Then your aspiration can be waiting until you get there. You are not there yet.
Thank you very much for the insightful words. I appreciate it. As somebody who have been in the agricultural sector for almost more part of your life, I would like to ask, do you think that the agricultural, with your experience and how much you have been exposed to, do you think that any nation, using Nigeria as a case study, can actually curtail this huge unemployment rates through agriculture?
When I was in school, there was a period that my department, like the whole campus, we are lacking funding. I met my HOD. I told my HOD one thing that, sir, do you know that fisheries alone can sustain this whole campus?
The whole campus?
Yes. He said, no. I said, sir, but we have vast land. Why are we not doing it? Now, let me shock you. How much do you make in a month? Give a rough estimate of how much you make in a month.
Say,
okay, let's say it is $500,000 naira.
Okay.
How many percent goes to feeding?
A huge part of that. 30-40% of that.
Are you sure 30-40% is enough for feeding?
Is it not a huge part of it already?
I am asking.
Yeah.
Because there are some homes, literally, they are working for food. know that if Delta State as a state can feed itself, things would be a lot easier.
Delta State
as a state feeding itself.
Delta State do not feed itself.
How do you feed yourself when you import rice? How do you feed yourself when you import beans? Go to our markets, you see lots of outside yams. That is not Delta grown yam. Delta grown yam are always bigger and more beautiful. Go to the market, you don't see tomatoes from this place.
And we can grow it here.
Of course, those are tomatoes from other states. The onion, the ginger, everything we use here is being moved down to us. So, how many percent do you think we are producing as a state?
I do not have enough.
With this high level of insecurity everywhere, nobody would want to even touch the farmland.
But even if there is security, do you think that we will do that?
See, days are gone where people see farming as a job for dirty people. Where people see farming unattractive. Food is the core of human existence.
True.
Yes. And whosoever that controls the food people eat, it is on the same level with the banking sector. The man that controls the money controls the world. Likewise, the man that controls the food controls the world too. To what end is your money when there is no food to be purchased? Will you place your $10 million inside a cooking pot and boil it to eat? You need food, real food. So it is that serious. Imagine about 10 trunks of food coming to Agbo and somebody hijacked it. There's no rice coming in, there's no beans coming in, there's no tomato coming in, there's nothing coming. And you and I will have about 50 million each in our account. And there's no possible means of reaching out to a neighboring state where we can use this money to buy food. What do we do?
We can't help it. We'll have to.
Now, what is the value of your money when the food is not valuable? So, in a nutshell, my point here is agriculture is the biggest industry you can ever think of. It takes, but we have not been able to harness it. I think probably because of the oil we found. And I do tell people that oil is rather a curse than a blessing. All the states, all the countries that oil is being found, there's one political crisis to the other. There's war between tribes. There's regional crisis. So it is more of a curse to us than a blessing. If you look at Libya now, Libya is in crisis. South Sudan is in crisis. This one is in crisis because of the oil. They are minerals. So, my brother, it is really a great industry that when fully mechanized, you'll be glad to call yourself a farmer. Yes. You'll be glad to say, I am a farmer. Today, I was telling you about oil palm, right? I told you that if you have 5,000 stands of oil palm, that no matter where you are in the world, come back to your house because you are made. It will give you, it will give you millions every year. And little and with a little running cost.
Right?
Yes. Agriculture is the only sector that can make you a billionaire in Nigeria. Yes. It is the only sector that can make you a billionaire in Nigeria. Because most of the money we have, the billionaires we have are the old money. Probably they must have been in the government earlier on in their life. Then maybe grow it.
Then maybe oil sector.
But you see, agriculture, it remains the only field that can give you so much money when properly done.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, I need to throw light on something about the 9 to 5. I said something earlier about putting all your eggs in one basket. It is not as if 9 to 5 is a sin. It is not. Neither is it a scam.
Okay.
No. 9 to 5 is good as a beginner. There are people that earn good money. Now, why people prefer 9 to 5 is the safety it brings. Being sure that at the end of every month, this is certain for me. The constant incoming it brings. The relaxation it gives you, that you are not prone to any risk, unlike that of a businessman. But where it gets bad is when it is your only source of income, when it is your only strategy to wealth creation, it is rather than impossible to amass wealth working for anybody. Because when you work for somebody, the person dictates your salary, how much time you put into the job, and when you go home, when you come back, when you get to meet your family, when you get to go for a holiday, all of those things
are determined by somebody.
You are not the one calling the shots. But on the other hand, being your self-boss, the entrepreneurial part of it, comes with its own risk. So I would rather say that have your 9 to 5, save up money, acquire properties. Because from ownership, you can amass wealth. True. Yes. Ownership is the only thing that gives you money. Let's assume you had a property in Aboye. As long as you live, you must earn, your tenant must pay your rent. In addition to what you earn from your 9 to 5. So by so doing, your retirement can be planned, because nowadays workers pay for their own retirement. Unlike in the 80s where maybe the employer covers your retirement and everything. In Nigeria, some companies don't even give you medicals. You have to pay for your own medical insurance and the rest. But above all, you need to start from somewhere. Because I believe that we have some young audience who must have left school a year or two back. You can't start from nothing. It is only in art that we can say you can create something from nothing. Picking up garbages, you design it to something nice and fancy. Maybe people will see it and love it. Already, you are doing something. But in real life, you need money to invest. You need money to do that which you have in mind. And I don't think anybody will give you that kind of money. Because at first, you are only doing a test run. Because you have never done any business in your life. So as a fresh graduate, you need your own personal money to experiment things. It is when you see success in it, you can say, oh, lend me so amount of money so that I can move this business.
Which I've experimented.
Yes. So nobody will give you money to experiment for a business. What if it fails? How then do you pay? You don't have collateral, you don't have anything. You cry to mom and dad for a bailout fund.
Well, people do actually give though. There are grants, there are grants, there are free grants.
I understand that. Sometimes it is not easily accessible.
Yeah.
Now, and again, how much grant are there?
Yeah, how many clients are there?
Yeah.
You made a valid point. You actually have to start from somewhere.
Yes.
It might not be.
You must end
Yes,
first.
it shouldn't be the entire plan, but it should be
Mhm.
a beginner plan.
Yes.
Should be a beginner plan.
Yes.
Do you think that everybody should be an entrepreneur?
No, the question is quite tricky because everybody do not have the same level of risk and intolerance.
To be an entrepreneur.
Yes. Me, I have lost so much money in my lifetime. One of my friends said, Israel, if I had lost the same amount of money you have lost, I would have killed myself by now. So, but me,
they're still willing to put in more,
yes,
take more risk and all of that.
Because life is all about that.
True.
A man once he told me that, Israel, don't you think sleeping is risky? How are you sure that you wake up?
Yet we sleep anyway.
Yes. Huh?
Yeah.
What if you do not wake up? What happens? Life continues. So that is that.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. You have really expatiated on all of this. On just before we go, on the last note, for people who are, stepping out of young folks who are stepping out of school, and then they are seeing the condition of the world today, taking our country as a case study. They are seeing the condition of the country today, and they just want to move into doing one or two things rather than going to going to look for a job. You might spend 1 year, 2 years still back in your parents' house, still asking daddy and mommy for money, which you might not really like to do because you think that you're old enough to be able to take care of yourself first, and even hand them over stuff. So, what do you think that they can do, or how do you think they should approach this whole thing?
My take on this is this: leaving school, you know your works. How much do I have? First, you know your relationship. How many persons can actually lend me, like a soft loan? You know your skill. What can I do when they eventually lend me this money? All of these things must be coherently calculated first. Now, for the case of you not having money, as the case may be, let's say all things being equal, like you have all that things, but there's no cash. Now, how can I get money? And you do not want 9 to 5. 9 to 5 do not necessarily mean that you must work on that job for a very long time. You can tell them, okay, I have a friend that has a company. I can be among the boys that load and offload for the period of 3 months. In such job, there is no really a legal contract binding you. You can decide to go today and not go tomorrow. The thing is, raise money for what you want.
Okay.
Yes. But if you choose to do a corporate job for 1 year in order to raise money, you can do it. If you choose to pest an uncle until maybe he dies and give you the money,
Okay.
good for you. The thing is, just do something.
Okay.
Yes. Do something. Because everybody wants to succeed. Regardless the path you are going, it's all about, let's say we are going to Lagos. And there's a way we can use boat. We sail down to Lagos. There's a way we can use train. We go to Lagos. There's a way we can use flight. We get to Lagos. But the point is, get us to Lagos.
Get to Lagos.
Yes.
Whichever way, get to Lagos.
Get to Lagos.
Thank you very much. It has been quite An amazing time having you on our show.
Yeah, the pleasure is so much.